Love that. Love it, love it, love it. Understand why. Document claims in your management system. Document, document, document. Make people identify the difference. All right. It is time to talk about claims and claims process and the importance of having a claims process. For me, when I think about claims and insurance, and we're going to have a little coffee together here on this podcast. Maybe you're listening to us. Maybe you are watching us on YouTube where you can see that my shirt blends in with the color of the wall behind me. We want to talk about claims process because, in my mind, this is the only time that somebody uses your product. If we think about the ultimate client experience, this is where the rubber meets the road. There is no truer example of how your agency is doing than the success of a claim. One of the funny things about claims is we don't want them for our loss ratios, and just because we don't want anything bad to happen to our clients, and our clients don't want them because that means it's a pretty bad day of their life. Usually when you have a claim, it's one of the worst days of your life or year, depending on the severity of the claim. And what happens when there is a claim out there, people often are not as experienced in claims. So you may handle glass claims or fender benders or building claims all the time. But for most people, this might be their first or something that they have very limited experience about. If they do have any experience on it, could have gone good, could have gone bad, all of the things that happen. And we have to realize some clients are going to come to us with claims PTSD. How we treat people during a claim is critical. One of the biggest hurdles we see that independent agencies have is the fact that for the average consumer, they really don't understand how our system works. So they don't understand that there's a carrier. In their mind, they're just trying to get resolution. Maybe they got into a car accident, it's hard for them to get to work, and they're frustrated because there was no rental car reimbursement. I do have to say this. I'm going to make my shameless plug, like I always do. Everything in the world comes back to renewal review calls. If you want to have a seamless or better claims process, renewal review calls will save you because the more you can get out and talk to people what coverage they have, in the event of a claim, that goes much smoother because either they buy coverages like rental car reimbursement, or when they call in, they say, I don't think I have, but I thought I would check. And that goes much, much smoother. So renewal review calls, you might be thinking, has nothing to do with claims, everything to do with claims. If you want to have a great claims process, think about a renewal review call. Remember, renewal review calls are like penicillin. They prevent all sorts of great stuff. They cure everything in an agency that could potentially go wrong. So don't be shy about getting serious about this year. I can't think of something that we're here to do more than that. So in addition to renewal review calls and claims, we have to think about a couple things when a claim is generated. One, there's two paths people take. People can call the company direct or go to the company direct or call into your agency. If you're doing renewal review calls and you have good relationships with your clients, they'll probably call you. If you sold a policy and we haven't talked in 5 years, they're probably calling the company. Now, to have a really kick butt proactive renewal review call process means you are going to have to search the carrier websites every day or every few days for any claims that come in and get proactive and reach out to them. So for the purposes of this podcast, I'm going to start with just people who call you, the easiest ones. People who call you. First question is, who does it go to? Claims can be non-licensed because we should never talk really about coverage during a claims experience. Sometimes it can get escalated if it's a serious claim to somebody who's licensed, but for the most part, your job is clerical in claims. Again, the serious ones, you'll need counsel, but glass claim, not really. I will say this, every state's different. Some states, in order to open your mouth in an insurance agency, you need a license. And some states are a little bit more relaxed on that front. When the claim comes in, who's going to greet them? Do you have dedicated claim specialists? That's more and more popular in agencies. If not, who does it go to and what's their process? We always love starting with, first of all, are you okay? Second of all, have you ever had a claim before? So you know the person's propensity and experience. Third of all, we're sorry to hear about this. Let's talk about what options you have. At that point, you really have to realize after you've greeted the person, made them understand your role, hey, as your agent, we're going to work with the company to help process this claim. They need to understand that there's a difference between you and the company, you and the company. You selected this policy, the carrier is going to pay out that claim. From that point on, once you have identified what's going on, we highly recommend a warm transfer to the carrier. And this is why. I know some agencies feel like we should take down all the information. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. Understand why, except for the but, ... The person is going to give you all the information. And then you know what's going to happen? the company is going to call and they're going to have to repeat themselves. So if we want everything done quickly, the best thing that we can do is get that claim in as quick as possible to the company and do that. Now, some carriers feel differently about this, so you have to watch your carrier list. I know some have fees if you call in claims. You have to know this stuff, but this is just generalization. This is why processes are so key, is when you work with multiple companies, your process has to reflect that. And that's the deal. Claim calls in, warm transfer it, stay on the phone, make the person feel great, or at least stay on the phone until they're connected, because sometimes the on-hold times can get a little crazy. And then your job really is to follow up in a few days. Did you hear from the claims adjuster? Now, if they have not heard from the claims adjuster in 2 to 3 days, that's a problem. And you need to get involved. And you need to very clearly document this so that you can talk to your companies about their need to step up their claims game. We also recommend routine check-ins, whether it's every 2 weeks or a month later. Just make sure everything is good. Check the carrier websites. Document claims in your management system. Document. Your management system is the mothership. It should have everything in there that is going on. We also do recommend for 2 bonus tips at the end of a claim, going ahead and sending out a survey. How was your experience? And this is another way you could say, how was your experience with our agency? How was your experience with the company? Make people identify the difference. Remember, claims is something that people talk about. If someone's been in an accident, they'll tell all their closest friends and their friends will check in on them. The last thing that you want is, yeah, my insurance, ... Not good for you. Also, people go online and leave bad online reviews. Also, not good for you. At the end of the day, you need to really have a great process. That survey's good. Also, if you did hit home runs, it's a great opportunity to ask for a referral or an online review. So you have to be looking for those opportunities. They won't find themselves. Most people on the event of a claim aren't thinking, let me go leave an online review. They're thinking, let me just get back into my vehicle. So that's kind of the inbound call. What about the outbound? So you need to go to the carrier website to find out who has reported a claim to the company and pick up the phone and call them and email them. Let them know your role. If they're dealing directly with the company, they have no idea that you exist or there's no real relationship with you. This is a variability. Again, a claim is a time where a client will analyze their relationship with you. And if they don't know or remember that you exist, there's no way to analyze that relationship. They're upset with the company and you could have gotten involved. You might lose a client, get a bad online review, or worse. So it is really critical that you think about calling out to those people. Now, everybody and their mother loves automation these days. And we love automation too much, in my opinion, because we don't trust our team to get things done. Or we're thinking, well, they can't keep up. So if we do a voice drop, that's better. With a claim situation, I think it's delicate. I'm going to be honest with you. An automated email is going to get ignored. They're going to get automated emails from the carriers. It's just going to be a problem. You have to think that there is a balance in the world between automation and real freaking people. Could you automate a glass claim? Probably. I probably wouldn't be too upset with that. But if somebody was in the first time car accident, do you think they want a voice drop? Do you think they want an automated email? They want someone that's going to tell them what's going on. We do lean more and more on self-serve opportunities now, but that's for things that are routine that we're comfortable with. I could argue that a claim is something that nobody is comfortable with and presents a lot of challenges. So at the end of the day, I feel like it's so critical that you identify in your agency, what is automation for and what could we do? Now, after you talk to the person, automate the follow-ups, automate the tasks to let people follow up, automate text messages. Jesus, yes, do that. But that first authentic interaction where somebody's scared and nervous, automation may not be the thing that you should be thinking about. And I say that because a lot of agencies will listen to this and be like, I'm going to do a voice drop. I'm going to automate an email on a claim. And I just say, hey, you know what? Maybe this is not the right time to do this. Maybe this is the time to automate after we have a conversation. And that's just my 2 cents. I tend to be a little old school. I get it. But I also realize people come to an independent agency for a relationship. And when we don't provide that, we go too heavy on automation, we're sort of violating our values, our brand promises, and why we exist. And so I'm going to challenge everybody all the time on the need for automation and where it exists correctly. So automate the survey, automate text follow-ups. I'm good with that. But that first conversation, maybe try not to automate, maybe try to be more authentic in nature. So that's kind of our feeling on a lot of this stuff. I also want to say that at the end of the day, remember, a claim is the ultimate use of our product. And so people need training. They need training on how to handle somebody who's upset with a claim. Your team needs training on how to handle people say, well, is this going to increase my rate? We need training on exactly what to put as a claim and what not. Every agency feels differently about that, but we should counsel people. If it's their second claim and it's $1,000, they may want to pay it out of pocket themselves to not jeopardize their policies. These are things that are important. A claim is not just, okay, great, here you go, boom. Claim has impacts on their insurance, and that's something that we should always be focused on. That is my 15 minutes of fame on claims. That rhymes, which is kind of cool. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope you check out our process course because that's what we've been working really hard on. We get talked to a lot about, I want agency processes, and they're very delicate in a lot of ways. And people, I think, just want kind of the off the shelf. But for me, processes have to be customized, and then they have to be adopted, and they have to be rolled out, and they have to be tracked. And so we've worked really hard on 10 agency processes. Claims is one of them. So if this is something you want to do, check out that new course. We're running a special to the end of January 2022. Might be listening to this from the future and be like, January 2022. But it is out there, and I hope that your agency uses it. If you even just take one per month, maybe take 2 months off and really work with your team. There's checklists, there's forms, there's email templates included, there's scripts. I mean, these things are robust. My team crushed it on this course and just did a really great job on it. So this is the course that you need if you're struggling with processes. And we even have some management system stuff in there too. But check it out. You can either subscribe to our online school. It's now $295 a month. We had a price increase for the year because we've got so much content in there. I think there's 12 different courses in there. How to handle price, sales, retention, the processes, commercial sales, how to build your agency's roadmap, which is like business planning for your agency, how to limit remarketing, how to cross-sell. Gosh, there's just so much stuff in there. How to be efficient. So when everyone says, I'm so busy, you have an answer. But there's that, or you could buy it outright. So whichever you prefer, let us know. We'd love to talk to you guys about it. And if you need some help, we have some consulting hours too. So I hope you guys are having a great day. Check out our course and get your claims process in order.